and her father, George Moffett, are suing Melissa's sister, Tracey Kuzmich, and her fiancé, Tracy Crowley, for unfinished work on their home.
Order. All rise. Now it's case number 574 on the calendar in the matter of Morton, Moffett versus Kuzmich, Crowley.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
You, Mr. Morton?
I'm
Miss
Mrs. Morton.
This is your dad?
Yes. Moffett.
This is your sister?
Yes.
Your daughter and her husband?
Fiance.
Fiancé.
Unless
Correct.
something changed.
Miss Morton, they purchased windows for you to install in your home.
Yes.
According to your complaint, the windows were the wrong size, didn't fit.
Right.
You paid them $4,000. That was the agreed price. So far, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have your bill for the windows?
Yes, we do.
I'd
Right
like
here.
to see it.
Bill and some wood.
How much were the windows in total?
The windows in total were $1,551.
Okay. The windows in total were $1,500.
Yep, $1,551 for 9 windows.
Okay, and that's what you delivered.
That is correct.
And she gave you a check for $4,000.
Yes, she did.
And you didn't furnish any additional windows.
That is correct.
So the rest of that money was allegedly for your labor.
No. I have their estimate right here, in which they broke down how they gave it.
Can I see that, please?
Installed 9 windows, or they've installed 11 windows altogether. And the estimate came with a big bow window.
No, just
which
a second.
they said.
Just a second. Speak up. Okay, so the total here was 9 standard windows, add 11 windows to replace the rest of the windows throughout the house. So this total bill was $2,747.
Yes, ma'am.
Where did the other money come from?
Well, they had done additional work through, I had some storm damage, so they did a little bit with that. They said that they were going to do extra insulation, they were going to do more of the trim. The reason that the windows didn't fit to start with was because I have an old house and they did a false window. So they just took the estimates off of the size off the windows that were in, instead of, taking that false window off and putting the size that fit. They had originally installed the 3, discovered that they didn't fit, so instead of, not leaving those, they decided to make them work, try framing it in, and then they said that they were going to take back the others and reorder. Well, they never did that. Instead, they sold an extra.
Were you going to order the correct size windows?
No, I never told her that. I showed her what was wrong with her windows as far as the seal. The seals on the windows were rotten. The windows looked like they were fairly new.
If you purchased different windows, would they have fit more appropriately? The answer is either yes or no.
No.
Okay. So you knew you had to then fix those windows because they didn't fit.
Correct.
Okay. Did you ever do that?
Yes, Your Honor.
When did you do that?
When we installed the windows.
So as far as you're concerned, the job was completed?
That is correct, Your Honor.
No, I don't think so.
The first
If I
9
may, Your
windows,
Honor.
yes, they were.
I don't think so.
The first 9 windows were.
And then?
We did not put in the remaining 11 windows or the bow window.
She paid you for the additional 11 windows.
That was not for the windows, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
We never charged her. We did this as a family thing, not as contractors.
In any event, the case is about you claim that they did not install the other windows appropriately, and you had to pay someone $1,600 to install them and
Fix their
complete
work.
the job. In any event, I don't understand your claim, quite frankly, for $5,000 because all it cost you was an additional $1,600 to fix the house.
Yes, actually, because they did not install the windows I wanted. I was not really made aware of that. I'm not really an expert on windows.
Well, then that's your problem.
And I understand
Then that's
that.
your problem. I still don't understand why you're suing for $5,000 when all it cost you to fix, and I assume you have a bill for that, to install those windows was $1,600.
Because, for one, I didn't get all my windows. I only have 11 windows in that house. I didn't get my picture window or the additional 8. And like I said, they weren't the Anderson.
Just a second. Did you pay for them?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
I did. Those were part of the $4,000 that I gave, because on that estimate you see that there was the 9 windows plus the picture, and then the 11 windows.
Oh,
all
one
on
bay
it.
window with Anderson, Silvermine Series windows. Do you have an estimate for the bay window?
Yes, I do.
And is that part of the 1,600?
Yes.
Well, if it's part of the 1,600, we're back to the same question. You paid $1,600 to complete the job. Why are you suing for $5,000?
If I may, Your Honor,
Go ahead.
they installed the windows. They left them hanging with just screws. They
I don't care.
They didn't trim.
I don't care. It cost her $1,600 to fix the job. Why is she suing for $5,000?
Because I would like the compensation for my windows, because those aren't the windows I asked for.
Then
So that's the $4,000. And then I would like the extra $1,000 for the window that he did, because I paid for that bay window twice.
What I'm going? No,
Because-
not if I give you $1,600. You didn't pay for it twice.
It's only one window. I should only have to pay for it once.
Absolutely right, but he shouldn't have to pay for it twice.
He never provided me that window.
Hey, listen to me.
Okay.
Cost you $5,600 to complete the windows in your house.
Yes.
Is that a fair statement?
Yes, it is.
You gave him $4,000.
Yes.
You had to spend another $1,600. My question is, why are you suing them for $5,000?
Because I would like the $4,000 from the windows. Those aren't the windows I wanted.
Well, I tell you what we do. When you take those windows out of your house and throw them in the garbage, come back to me.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Melissa Morton and her father, George Moffett, are suing Melissa's sister, Tracey Kuzmich, and her fiancé, Tracy Crowley, for unfinished work on their home. The defendants are countersuing for false allegations.
Okay. I'm not getting into the whole family business here. The family business was that the windows weren't installed properly to begin with. Then your wife was having a difficult pregnancy, and her sister decided it's not the right time to put their feet to the fire. I'm going to live with this during the summer or whatever it was. But then at the end of the summer, she found herself pregnant.
That's
and
why
she
we went
wasn't
out there.
getting satisfaction from this side of the table to fix a problem that you should have fixed. In any event, she's owed $1,600 to finish the job because you didn't finish the job and she had to get somebody else to finish it. Unless you're going to tell me that you did, in fact, give her a picture window. Did you?
No.
Okay, so she's entitled to $1,600. Now, Mr. Moffett, you have a claim. I want to know whether you want to proceed with that claim, because you say that when all of this came down, you did something that a father should never do. You stuck your nose in your children's business.
No, ma'am, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Are you telling me that you didn't call them to try to intercede about this window business?
No, ma'am, I didn't.
Ma'am,
We got
if
proof
I
right
may,
here. Go
he
ahead.
called my cell phone an ungodly amount of times telling me to get my dead A out of bed
Just a
and
second.
over to her house.
Just a second. They have the phone records.
Yeah.
You may,
They have the phone records.
we get along, and he says the same thing to me. It's nothing personal.
Well,
That's
Mr.
him.
Moffett, then you want to tell me what you're suing your daughter for?
I collect funeraria and strange things. Casket tags, odds and ends.
And?
I bought a plantation police badge off eBay.
And?
I had said something to Tracey about it, and about 10:30, 11 o'clock at one night, he calls me, drunkard, and he's going to come over to my house and beat the out of me and rape me.
We have,
That's a
We
lie.
have police reports, Your Honor. Like I said, the telephone
And,
things.
Ma'am, I talked to both of them
Just a second.
after.
And?
And I called the county police and filed a report.
Okay. I'd like to see the report that he filed.
You see, and this is the kind of, these are bad, shady people.
What kind of racial comment to him
May
to you
I?
did he? No, I'm asking him.
The comment was made to me, though, ma'am.
What did he say?
He said, tell Tracy he better have his freedom papers because I have a badge to arrest runaway slaves. Those were his words.
Oh, well, Mr. Crowley, you made a mistake, sir. You called back when the police were still there.
You're correct, Your Honor.
And you threatened him.
I just
You
basically told him
called
it was
back
over.
when the police were still there. The police told you not to call back, didn't they?
Yes, they did, Your Honor.
So what'd you call back for? So what'd you call back for?
I called back to let him know that that was it. It was done.
No, that's not what you said. That's not what the police said you said.
Well, I know.
That's not what the police said you said, Mr. Crowley. Because you have a counterclaim. Your counterclaim is that you filed a false police report. Your counterclaim's dismissed.
Right. Well,
Your
no,
counterclaim's dismissed.
Honor,
no,
in
the
police
counterclaim is
report-
not dismissed.
Oh, yeah, your counterclaim's dismissed.
He told the police that I was being held
Listen
against
to
my
me.
will.
Your counterclaim, sir, is dismissed. You want me to read what your countersuit is?
Yes.
My father made false allegations toward my fiancé, claiming that he threatened him.
He did not threaten him.
Just a second. That's what you wrote. Claiming my fiancé threatened him and he was holding me against my will. However, the police officer says right here, he told you not to call back, and you called back and said you blanked by calling the police.
Implying I will not have anything to do with them now.
Listen to me. Don't tell me implying anything, madam.
But that's what he meant.
Listen to me. Don't tell me implying anything. Your fiancé was told, don't call him. And he couldn't control himself, and he called him. His counterclaim is dismissed. Judge him for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,600. That's
Hold
all.
on, wait,
Step
wait,
out.
wait.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
The job was completed for what we got paid for, but it was not a business transaction. It was helping out family members.
Those weren't the windows I wanted. They did not finish work. I paid them for labor that they did not do.
He's racist and he does not like him, and that's what this is really all about.
As far as being a racist, I'm also American Indian and white. I'm mixed race also.
I'm just gonna walk away from it all.
I want nothing to do with her. The only one I would love to have anything to do with is my niece.
There is no relationship.
Don't hire family for sure.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Pangburn versus Teague. Step forward.
25-year-old Shalon Pangburn is suing her former friend, 19-year-old Austin Teague, for a cell phone termination fee and the cost of a new phone.
Miss Pangburn, you knew the defendant, I assume, from the mall where he works?
Yes, ma'am.
And he worked in a phone store?
Yes, ma'am.
Just friends from the mall?
Yes, ma'am.
Never saw each other outside the mall?
No, ma'am.
Okay. He works in a phone store. He had a phone. I don't know what kind of phone it was. He had a red phone. You had a blue phone. You wanted his red phone. He said, okay, we'll switch phones, which is what you did. You took his red phone, he took your blue phone. You took it and you opened up an account and your phone broke. And you went to him and said, phone's broken. And he said, well, can't help you. It was working when I can't help you. It was working when I gave it to you. Gave you a loaner for a brief period of time. You want him to pay for the cost of the phone and the cost of the termination fee for your phone.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's the case. Whose idea was it to swap phones?
It was his. I talked to him about getting that phone.
What do you mean? You would talk to him about buying a new red phone?
Yes, ma'am. I talked to him about purchasing the new red phone, and he came upon the idea of just buying the blue phone. He would take the blue phone and I would take the red phone.
How much did your red phone cost?
About $500.
And how much did her blue phone cost?
Roughly about the same price.
Is that right?
I paid $262.49 for it.
I was doing the outright price. I wasn't doing the contract. Outright prices are about the same price. My phone's about $200-300 out, with the contract in it, but outright is about $500.
And is her phone the same?
Yes, her phone's about $450, $475.
Now, what was it about her phone that made it more desirable for you?
My phone's a touchscreen phone, and I actually didn't like it too much. And her phone was not touchscreen at all.
How long had you had your phone?
Like a month and a half.
How long had you had your phone?
I had never purchased. I never even had the phone in my possession. Austin took control of the phone before I even had it.
So you bought a new blue phone?
A brand new phone, yes, ma'am. I never even had the phone in my possession.
And for $262, without a contract, you got his phone that was a $500 phone.
That included the contract.
Now, on what date did you switch phones?
That was October 27, 2007.
Did you make any phone calls at all on that phone?
No, ma'am. When I actually received the phone, it was not working. And that's when I talked to Austin and told him that the touch screen, which is the only way to use the phone, was not working.
In the store?
Correct.
And what did he say to you?
Well, he spent probably about 45 minutes trying to get the touch screen to work, and he never could. At that point, he got a brand new phone out of its box, and told me while he was trying to fix my phone, I could use that phone.
And that happened in the store on the same date, on the 27th of October?
Yes, ma'am.
So he gave you a loaner phone?
Yes, ma'am.
And then what happened?
I got a text message, or I believe a phone call about a week later from Austin saying that he needed the loaner phone back, that his boss was doing inventory, and if that phone was missing, he was going to lose his job.
Okay, so you brought that one back?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now you have no phone?
Correct.
All right, Austin. Let me hear you, sir.
Okay. So when she came in, I had the phone, my red phone, in my possession, and I was using it on it, just using it. She saw me using it, and as soon as I handed it to her,
Don't tell me what she saw.
as soon as we made the swap for the phones, it stopped working out of nowhere. She walked away with it after I tried.
Just a second. You handed her the phone,
Yes.
and you were standing there with her.
No, ma'am. I walked away. I was on the phone with the wireless company to get it activated. I walked away, and then she told me that it was not working. After I handed her the phone.
Okay.
But it was working when I handed
But
it.
she was still in the store.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
So then I was, like she said, I was there about 45 minutes trying
Just a second. So you were there 45 minutes trying to get it to work.
Yes, ma'am.
At that point, did she ask you for her phone back?
No, ma'am.
You said, I'm going to give you a loaner phone
Yes, ma'am.
until I get your phone to work.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you get her phone to work?
No, ma'am. But I also offered her an insurance plan, which she could call the wire.
It doesn't make any difference. You didn't comply with your contract. The contract took place when you handed her the phone. She said it doesn't work, and you said, I'm giving you a loaner phone until I get your phone to work.
Yes, ma'am.
Then when she came back, Austin, and you couldn't get her phone to work, you said, well, now I'm going to give you an alternate plan. You can do this, and you can hop over here, and you can jump through here. And she chose not to do that. That wasn't the contract. That was your getting out of the contract. She chose not to do that. So you owe her the money. Now, she had a phone that she gave you that cost her $262.
Yes, ma'am.
And how much was your disconnect fee?
The termination fee was $400 for not returning the phone.
That's $662.
Correct.
That's what you owe her, Austin.
Okay.
Shouldn't have given her a broken phone, sir,
All right.
which is what you did. Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $662. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.